Hi, welcome to Vikalynn Draws. This is actually the very first video I wanted to do. That way you guys can kind of get, like, what sense is going on. Now, my first video is exactly as it's described. I want to show off some of my old artwork, as well as some of my new ones. We have a total of 5 sketchbooks to get through, so I thought I'd show and explain what has gone on in the past, as well as where I am now. So, why don't we just go ahead and get started. This is actually my very first sketchbook. This was actually given to me by my dad when I was around 7th grade, 6th grade, so, and it definitely shows, yeah, that was my email address. I don't know why it was Rebel196, but why not? Oh my gosh, I'm actually kind of embarrassed too. Hi, Casey Bear! Hi, baby! Yeah, that's the drawing that my girlfriend did for me. I'm so excited. Looks so nice. Anyway, here we are. At the time, I was a huge fan of Inuyasha, and that definitely shows. I was actually into the world of making my own art, as well as making my own comics, even when I was younger. It was actually kind of interesting to look at it now, considering that I had, like, a world of demons. It was very Inuyasha-based, very anime-based, and I don't know what she's doing right there, but I still love that outfit. I still want to reincorporate this at some point. Not sure what kind of armor he was going for, though. Same thing, trying to come up with the different races and stuff like that. I was a D&D nerd all the way from the beginning, so that's definitely interesting. I think that guy was supposed to be like a fox or a cat demon or something. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I think that one was supposed to be a hobbit. I'm not sure. Again, I was very Lord of the Rings savvy. Even to this day, I'm still very Lord of the Rings savvy. Yeah, even... I was trying to draw my friends at one point, too. I remember that. Yeah, this was definitely no pre-wardrobe for males. Well, that's interesting. Vicky, you were definitely not a lesbian then. Apparently I really liked the corset, though. That was always interesting. I always liked the diamond sleeves. I don't know how that would work today, but you know what? Why not? Let's go with it. I might actually have to redraw some of these, just on a fashion standpoint. This was in 2008. I was obviously Team Pirate at the time instead of Team Ninja. I love my pirates. I actually kind of like the fact that there were, like, guns and swords right there. Just saying. Guns and swords. And then, like, one picture of a woman. I think this was supposed to be, like, a person's, like, hammock instead of, like, an actual bed. So, I always found that kind of interesting about the pirates. And I think that was supposed to just be, like, a captain's quarters or... Oh, that's right. I had a lesbian girl or a woman who literally was a elf pirate at one point, and I still have no idea what the hell I was thinking, but I love the idea of the fact that she has a dagger inside the wall. It's like, how the hell did this go from wood to brick? And then of course you have the times where I actually try to draw things out, like sketch-wise, to match, like, songs. I was definitely a classical music nerd, even to this day. Like, it actually went all the way to, like, styles or to storyboarding, and that didn't last very long, I guess, because the next thing is another comic idea. It was based off of, like, the Mozarts. I have no idea. I was definitely captured by, like, the whole Japanese art style thing, so, although I do love their outfits, I do need to redraw some of these just because, you know, I don't feel like I did them justice back then, and these characters are very, very bland. I just find it very interesting that I thought that this was very good, and that I was always being encouraged. And then there was the Ice Siren, which was a Batman comic. That was the original drawing of Oswald Cobblepot. So you had the penguin and this girl that I really wanted to have, like, ship them in a way. And he ended up having a daughter. Like, it was a whole new generation of Batman. And that was in 2007. So I guess I kind of time warped. I don't think there's much. Oh, and then there was a drag queen duo from '07 as well. About that. I have no idea, but I thought it would be cool to have drag queens, and I still had no idea how to draw boobs, apparently. Yeah. I think this was, like, based off of 2 kids at school that were like, oh yeah, well, being girly is so dumb. Well, joke's on you guys, I drew you guys as girls, apparently. And apparently I really like boobs when I was young, because they just seem to be getting bigger and bigger with every drawing that I see. Another girl posing, trying to get better. Oh, this was for my old DeviantArt, which was Hobbitine, which turned into the Eye Siren. I really liked the whole hoop skirt idea. I thought it was simple enough to draw, and obviously I was a huge Batman fan. Her actual name was Sabrina Chesterfield Cobblepot, which was interesting. So, and then I did have a friend from Norway at one point who really liked cats, so I thought I would draw her. I thought she was the coolest freaking person ever. I forget how we ever, like, lost touch, but she was so freaking cool at the time. Like, honestly, I really looked up to her, and I was so sad that she left Delftown. If you ever had a thing on there, please hit me up. You know, I was Hobbitine for a while. So, I think that's... Oh, nope, then I drew myself. How I saw myself. Long, reddish hair at the time. Wishing my name wasn't Vika or Victoria. And, yeah. It's just kind of how it goes. And then I drew her again. Once again, when she dyed her hair pink. I think I had a crush on this girl. I'm not sure. But I did very well. Which is pretty interesting, don't you think? All I remember to this day is that her, like, username was something Nico or Neko. Which, I don't know. Hopefully she was who she says she was, because I really did adore her in that way. Unfortunately. I think. I'm not sure. Random drawing of a girl. Random bodice. Same girl. I have no idea. Close up. Unfinished business. More unfinished what the hell? Okay, apparently I was trying to animate walking. And then you had no sleeves, nothing. That pose actually came out really decent at the time. I like the fact that he's not packing anything. And yeah, I think that's it. So that was my first sketchbook, middle school. Okay, so this is my sketchbook from high school. I actually carried this all 4 years, and I do have another one at my mom's place, which is a GUR sketchbook. I might do that for a separate video, but I don't have it here. So, yeah, let's get started. Yeah, this is in 2010, so this must have been, like, part of my senior. I like to skip around on drawings, apparently. I don't know. I think this might have been my senior sketchbook. But I apparently really like the Mad Hatter. I was working with expressions at the time, and that was interesting. I did have 2 characters which I really do miss drawing. I actually had a character who was an Orthodox Jewish guy who lived in New York. He was a survivor of the Holocaust and, you know, was part of the whole Polish thing going on. Then he had his wife, Holly, who was a convert, and this was, I guess, supposed to be him lecturing her on being immodest and how she needs to cover her hair and all that fun stuff. Yeah, good times. I need to redraw this, I think. Definitely. Here we are, my dream wedding dress at the time. Anatomy's definitely gotten better. The idea of just drawing something almost high collar, like coming up to your collarbones, and then being a lacy long sleeve and then shorter, like almost tapering, was actually kind of elusive to me. I've never seen it done, but I really wanted that for my wedding gown, and I just thought it was kind of interesting how that almost became ghost-like. This was actually part of my portfolio for my English class, actually. I did a graphic novel, And that's how I depicted my room, even though I didn't really have a bed. I just had a mattress on the floor. But yeah, no, that's just me with my hopes and dreams being in a candle. I did have a tack board for a while, but I just didn't... This was, I guess, my dream college idea, even though it says present. I just kind of wanted to give off the imitation that, oh, well, you know, I'm doing better than what everyone else says, ha 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 ha, that sort of thing, because I kind of grew up poor. Yeah, yikes. I had a lot of Jewish things here. I noticed that recently. So, I look at this is that, well, I remember these two characters being as they are. This was actually part of modern day. Again, part of the whole same story as these two. But it was a little bit later. It was their son and his boyfriend / husband, Abraham. You had Abraham and then you had Ethan, or Aton. And then, of course, that was my attempt at a ketubah. I was currently in Hebrew school, and I didn't know what a ketubah looked like, and I just kind of winged it as best as I could. So yeah, I didn't even have them sign it, even though it should have been signed. That's always interesting. That always looks like he's muff diving. I don't know. Again, another Mad Hatter thing. Trying with a different style, I guess. You can still see, like, the marks. I mean, trying to draw out the skeleton and how badly angular his body was. I love this, though. I love the fact that the princesses are, like, attacking a giant-ass Mad Hatter. It's like, ooh, look at me. I'm a pretty, pretty princess. The only thing I could do was twirl. That sort of thing. At the time, I was also a huge Hitalia fan. I want to draw Poland, and I did. I actually really enjoy this, just because you can see, like, shading with the color pencil, and you can also see, like, different shades. By the way, if you guys can't notice, that's what I got on, like, the whole sketchbook, because, like, my teacher would grade these, so that one got a 9 out of 10. Apparently that wasn't good enough for her. This was a 10 out of 10. I don't know why. This one was a 9 out of 10. This was a 8 out of 10, apparently because I don't know how to draw. And then this, of course, was a 10 out of 10, and then the very first one was a 9 out of 10. Apparently character concept arts does not matter at this point. But for Poland, I got a 10 out of 10, which was a sketchbook type thing, and she could see what I was trying with in that. Again, super into Hitalia. I shipped America, which I didn't give him the curl, apparently. Whoops. With my OC, which was Israel. So, I always thought that was kind of interesting, to have that together. I don't know why. They're dancing awkwardly. That was an 8 out of 10. Then you had my Austrian character, Brett von Tassel. I signed it awkwardly here, which I think that's where I started adopting my big L, with the word baby, bambino. Then you see my god-awful German at the time, Weltkunde, or Erdkunde, geography, or, yeah, Erdkunde, earth science. Actually, this one wasn't that bad. So, yeah. That one wasn't graded at all. This one wasn't graded either. This was a friend of mine who later told me that I was not his friend because I was gay. He just kind of dropped me off the face of the earth as soon as we graduated. Dylan was a good friend of mine, and I drew his Sonic OC, who was a fox at the time, I think. A fox or something along those lines that would, like, pyro and shit like that. He was a nerd, I was a nerd. We got along just fine. Then you got me and my friend Emily, who would do comics and stuff like that. Like, we did a holiday one in the middle of summer. More comics. And honestly, I still see that my art style was a little more advanced than her. Where she drew that. You know what? I kind of miss her too. I wish that we didn't part our ways, and I wish she wouldn't have hung out with those creeps that she calls friends now. Honestly, I miss the friendship. Then you have my very first attempt while I was in Germany, writing about Ethan and Abe, the comic and stuff like that I was working on. It was called Lachen und Weinen, or Laughing in Tears. And you can tell how old this thing is just because, not because of the art style itself, but the fact that I used a Nokia flip phone for him. That was like the most advanced thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why, but Abe's outfit kind of reminds me of, I think, Colin's from Rent. So you have basically a mixture of Rent, which is really bad. So you had that. Then you had the random drawing of Brett and Bonnie, who was his wife from, like, Scotland, and then he was Austrian. I don't know why he's in lederhosen. I know that's not from Austria, but it was the only thing that I could think of. So, and then the comic continues. It continues on for quite some time, actually. Just a lot of dumb angst. Then you had a random drawing of Abe, I guess. I guess I really did have a crush on Emily. I'm not sure, but then you had more German comics, because I started studying German a little bit more. So you have Ich hasse dich, Abe. It's like, naja. Like, it was actually going to have, like, a full-on, like, discussion. Like, he was going to be pissed. He was, like, throwing anger bombs and shit like that. I don't know why. But, yeah, that was a thing. Unfinished drawing. Apparently I'm good at that. Then you have, again, Brett with a younger Ethan, or Aton. So, and you have it all in German as well, which is kind of interesting to see, because I never do that anymore. Another empty head. You have a Italia thing, England and Austria. You have my pumpkin carving, which was Israel at the time. Not sure what that is. Oh. Then you have my ex, who was man self, and then me as my man self, Aton, or Athan, or Aton. Then you have Oscar, which was Marcy. And then by my orange glowing ass, I was going to actually do a pumpkin with Bender, and that didn't work out either. Again, I'm really good at not doing art. So, and then you had Austria, If I Were a Rich Man, just because I was getting really into Fiddler on the Roof as well. And I thought that this was a very angsty piece, but also a very good one, because you can actually see tears in his eyes. I guess I was just kind of mad at the world at the time, because I was a cart pusher and a bagger, and I was earning only $7.25 an hour, and I was pissed that I could never afford to go out with my friends while they did everything. And then, oh look, English homework. College English homework. More unfinished crap. More unfinished crap. Oh, when my ex, yeah, this was how I kind of pictured myself at the time. I just cut my hair. I had basically become what I thought was a monster at the time. And it's like, oh, love is a lie. I hate my job. Or love and crying are not true, or love and laughing are not true. Hate and love go hand in hand. Laughing and crying, laughter and tears are, oh my god, Vic. I think this is like, you have Tiny Aton, me, my man self. I really like the name Ethan, apparently. This girl was actually my ex's. She had a World of Warcraft character, and I thought I would draw her. I often tried drawing our characters together. I guess it just didn't work. That was my elfling, or not elfling, but my halfling to go with her elf. My halfling was called Elwyn at the time. So you had hers, which I could draw naturally, and then there was nothing. I drew her at one point. That's actually when she broke up with me. It was because I started drawing her, and she just kind of left me alone. And then, out of nowhere, there's a Yucine! Why? Why is that there? I forgot that that was there. Oh my god. That's so cute. He looks like a child. Okay. Then you have Russia. And then you have my German friends, and then my designing of a tattoo. So, and then a whole shitload of paint splatters. So, we have college. Yay. Okay. It's actually my pride outfit. I wanted to make this. It was going to be the asexual flag, and then it was going to be gray and stuff. Purple flowers in my hair, just because I found myself to be asexual in a way. So that was a thing. My man self, once again, Aton, with a kiwi bird, just because in the comic that I was going to do with him is that because my ex at the time, Marcy, they were in the military, so Aton was going to have a tiny little kiwi bird, which kind of led up to the Batwee, which is now their nickname is Batwee. It was actually, I don't know why, but it has a arc reactor, which was supposed to be a kiwi fruit taped on. It's so dumb. I don't know. I drew one of my exes from high school, with me clinging on, like, no, don't leave. I was actually doing comics of that, and then you had Kat, which was the last ex that I drew, and honestly, that does no justice to how she acted, to be honest. So, yeah. And then you have, when I was a nanny, I drew myself as a male nanny going into a cactus, because why the hell not? And then, of course, you had drawings for Marcy as Oscar and Aton. And, of course, it says, sweetheart, I love you. But, or sweets, if you will. That was at the time. I drew my ex as a male. I thought this was very accurate at the time because she shaved her head and she started looking more gay, if you will. More of a stereotype, and I thought that fit her very well. I did want to draw my friends Seti and Kalika as, which, by the way, you can follow Miss Midnight Kitten or Kalika's art channel down in the link below. Which, by the way, I need to give this, I didn't want to give this to you, and that's partially why I tried to white out it, and now you guys know. I drew Chang'er, which is a Chinese goddess, the rabbits on the moon type thing. It's actually part of the whole Chinese New Year. I was taking Mandarin at the time, so I thought that this would be a perfect thing to show off. My ex race in Pokemon. Honestly, I wish I never drew this, but I'll probably keep her as a character later down the line. My friend Mako, who had an Eevee apparently, with a bell around its neck, but yeah, no, that was for my friend Mako. My friend Brian wanted to be part of this. He had a tattoo of his guild, actually, at the time. I drew a ex-friend of mine, Crystal, as well. That was my attempt at realism. I love the way that the hair and the eyes came out, but it's still kind of creepy to look at. My costume idea for Infectious Last, that was actually going to be my idea. I still want to keep this idea. It's just with this I would have to put on tights because I have cuts on my legs, and that's just something that I don't want to do. I remodeled my Hobbit, by the way. I remodeled her to look more of a half-dwarf, half-halfling type character. And honestly, I love the braids. I love the slight facial hair that she has. It's just absolutely perfect for her. An ex-friend of mine drew that. I'm not sure why. And that's what Elwyn looks like right now. And honestly, I love her to death. I think she's perfect like that. That she's half hobbit, half dwarf. And honestly, I love the fact that she still has the physique of a hobbit, what with the hairy feet and everything, but she still has like this weird, like, dwarfness to her. Like, she's not that slender, and she's not that pretty. And it's just, it's absolutely stunning, and I would love to cosplay her because she's perfect in every way. A friend of mine from Canada, I drew this for her, but yeah, gone. This was going to be my My green blood, actually, she was going to be a mutant. I need to get rid of that, but she was going to be something for Homestuck, actually. Unfinished drawing, and more comics. This was actually set to Voltaire's "What Did I Ever Do to You? To treat me this way. Is it ever such a crime for an angel to seek his mind?" That one, Nearly Human. I was actually going to do a whole comic based off of friends who threw me under the bus. We're not accepting the fact that I had anxiety. If you look at this, this was actually based off of an ex-friend of mine named Charlie. She was our Nitro, our Rufio, and then you had my ex-friend Sam, who was Latula at the time in our cosplay group. And if you see Charlie, she's laughing. Then Damara was my friend Jessica at the point. We no longer talk to those three. Then my ex was, of course, Cancri. I was Cronus. That sort of thing. There's a lot of venting art, I think. A lot of venting. A lot of venting. So yeah, moving on. That's when I started trying to draw my guy, the guy version of that character. We named him Altair. I love that character. He's a pink blood, or an actual high blood, if you will. I was going to draw him and then draw my best friend Aaron, because we used to do shit like this all the time, where she would be kicking and stuff like that, and then he'd be just like an asshole about it. There's Ethan again. And then I redrew everyone once again in a same style. You had, I'm so sorry. Abraham became a priest. Ethan became a solitary lawyer. You had Fang, who was another friend. Then you had Gur, or Geraldo Ginger, who had been transgender at the time, and I did draw them. Then you have the girls, which you have Min, who is a student, and also Abraham and Ethan's child. Then you have Frida and Yana. Yana is still my favorite of all of them, because she actually came out really well. And then you have their son, Hans. I try to draw... Oh, this is gonna be good. So, my current fiance, my wife, she and I were making a comic. This was the original drawing of my guy. And then you got the more refined version. And then you got the old version. The actual version. Where you would have like a few scars on the neck, and then you'd have a chain. You have her character, which is Severino, which is pretty awesome. I did try to draw a few comics with them, and I love this effect. It was going to be the whole style of a Father's Day comic. I don't have a dad, so it was just going to be a few things here and there, like the story of everything. And then, yeah. It was like supposed to be about greed and that sort of thing. And then you have Caspian. At the time, Caspian. And then you have a art challenge that I did of myself. It was a good monster. And I drew myself as a golem from Jewish and Polish mythology. And then I got told, oh, well, you need to do one of yourself normally. So I drew myself at the time. Then you have Cecil. You have a poacher, which was supposed to be a monster or a bad monster. I drew a bad monster in that sense. I'm a poacher. And then you have my character Ares, or Violet Sky. At the time, that's what she originally looked like. Keep in mind this drawing. And then you have more styles for... Then you have my... more costuming. Anyway, and then you have my character for Star Wars, which is the original character, which if you want to see an actual colored version, there you go. So, yeah. And that's it. That's it for college. Guys, second to last one. So, you have my actual sketchbook, which I take with me everywhere. I actually use this one for illustrations for, like, books and stuff. This is actually one of my newer projects I was working on for a coworker, who also runs a publishing thing. Her story was called Andy the Ant, and, you know, you have Andy, you have a worm, then you have a spider, which got scrapped, which I love this spider. This spider was cool. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I like that spider. Anyway, and then you have, the bee, which is kind of cute. Then you have a flower. And then you have the storyboarding for this, which is kind of cool, considering that you saw some of my older stuff, which was all storyboarded, and it wasn't even that great. This still isn't even that great because it's not even finished, and you just see stuff being done, and then you have my cosplay plans for Suicune at the time. Still want to do this at the time now. So, soon. I actually have the staff made. I just need to make that now. Then there was another whole style of that, which I ended up scrapping because I wanted to cinch my waist with a sash. So, and then you have Savvy and Cass and the rest of the family. I love that. Still love that to this day. And then you have an illustration version of Caspian and his husband, Ron, who happens to be a robot. So, and then remember that character I told you guys to remember? That's what she looks like now. No shirt. So, in a fur vest. So, and then of course you have more characters from that book that my wife is writing, and then you have Cass's mom, Fran, and all that fun stuff. She had a tattoo on her shoulder, which was a khamsa. And then you have a tramp stamp that is Ivy and Roses, and then the ankle has a Star of David and her husband's name. Yeah. There was an eye study that I did. Look at there, eye and nose. And then you have another character. A game that I and my friends were playing at work at the time. I was explaining German. My map of the game I was doing. Don't know what the hell that was. Hello. Again, drawing. No idea. Trying to make my own head sprite, and those just didn't come out right. Remember that woman and then this guy with the beard? This one? Yeah, they had a kid together. Bailey. And I still love this drawing of him because he's, like, kind of shy, but also very much like his dad. And then you have the dorky picture, which I love that picture. But I love this one, too, because I never draw facing forward, ever. My terrarium idea, serpent, more terrarium. Then you have my Undertale drawing that I did earlier this year. You have Chara, and then you have Frisk, and then you have Azrael, Napstablook, Sans, the Monster Kid, Alphys, Asgore, Muffet, beautiful Undyne. Then Timmy! I'm sorry, I love Timmy. And then, of course, I love this just because it says it fills you with determination, and then stay determined, and nobody came. Thought it was very accurate. Don't know what I was drawing there. This was actually a more recent one they had done. I wanted to draw out my frustrations, and, like, I was doing, like, a whole witch monster thing, which was kind of cool. But I was never able to make it work. And then, hello, paycheck. Anyway, then you have my Sims list, which, that's everything. Now, the one sketchbook I want to show you guys only has one drawing in it right now. One. And that's just because it's extremely brand new. It's a more stylized approach or a more professional approach for markers. And those are actually my wife's. I'm borrowing them. So you have this bristle. And then remember that character I told you guys about? Yeah, that's her. Yeah, if I draw a scene from the actual, like, comic thing that I want to work on, and that's it. So, I might color this bad boy soon. Guys, I hope you guys liked it. Leave a thumbs up if you like. Let me know what you guys want me to draw. I'm actually going to start a whole new series, and hopefully this will take off soon. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Check out my other channel if you're good for spirituality. Thank you for hanging with me. Bye, y'all.